Hi, this is a quick movie just showing you how to use the 5D viewer in AutoQuant. So first thing I'm going to do is get a data set. There's one open here. This is a 3D Z stack, so I'm going to use the viewer to represent this in 3 dimensions. So I go to visualization, 5D viewer, and we will see it in 3D. Okay, so first things first, I've got a couple of basic options here. I can rotate like this, and I just use the mouse to drag it around. I can also select the zoom here, and then when I click the mouse and drag it in like this, I can zoom in and out. It's quite simple. I can also use the up, down, left and right keys to pan around like so, and if I also press the home key, it will take me back to the home position. Okay, there's a few little options we can select here. So I can put this, I can turn the scale bar on and off. I can do that over here as well. So I'm going to leave it on for now. I'm going to turn X, Y, Z axes on. Don't really see much point in those right now, so I'm going to turn them off. I can also play around with the brightness. I can increase and decrease the brightness with these buttons here. And the thresholding, I can actually increase or decrease the minimum threshold. And what that effectively does is it changes the range of intensities that will be displayed. So if I come in here and start increasing the minimum threshold, we can see now that a lot less is being displayed. Okay, I'm just going to take that back. You can also use the page up and page down buttons to play around with the minimum intensity, but we're going to leave it like that for now. The next good thing to show you would be the ISO surface. We're actually viewing it as volume now, so this is a maximum intensity projection, and I can turn the channels on and off over here like this. Come and play around with them. That's all kind of nice. Turn that channel on, but I could also represent it as an ISO surface. And what an ISO surface basically does is thresholds the image and represents all the intensities within the threshold as a single intensity. So there's no kind of grayscaling here. There's no dim or bright objects. It's just a thresholded image in 3 dimensions effectively. So I can rotate around here. I'm going to go back to my home position. And we've got a few different options when we've got the ISO surface on. So firstly, I can still play around with the channels, but if I come in here and go to this channel, you can see it's actually binned it. So this is basically, binning effectively reduces the amount of voxels, that's 3-dimensional pixels that you're going to see. So if I take it down to a bin factor of 1, we should be able to see more detail here. So I'm just going to zoom in here and take the bin factor up to 2. Actually, it's only doing it for 1 channel right now. So, yep, that's a bin of 1. And here is a bin of 3. You can see it's reduced the amount of detail there, so I'm going to take it back down to 1. Okay, I can also, it might be easier to see with 1 channel. It's also applying smoothing right now, so if I take that off as well, we're going to see a little bit more detail. There we go. I'll zoom in here and have a look with the smoothing turned on. We can see that it has smoothed the edges on it. It's a little less defined. What's also quite nice, what I like to do when I'm looking at an ISO surface is view it as a wireframe. So we just turn wireframe to true. Let's take us back to our starting position, and let's just zoom in and have a look at the wireframe. And you can get a really good kind of 3-dimensional view like this. So it's actually quite detailed now. Maybe I'll take the bin factor to 2 for the wireframe. Okay, I think that's a bit better. Okay, so there we go. What I'm going to show you how to do now is to quickly make a movie. So I'm just going to go back to my position here. You can make a movie quite quickly by just clicking on this little icon here and going to quick movies. I might want to rotate it around the y-axis, backwards and forwards 60 degrees. And there we have the movie. I'll just stop that for a moment. If I come to the movie tab over here, I can edit the frames per second, and that's effectively how quickly the movie is going to go. So I'm going to go a bit faster. I'm going to go 30, and the total frames to be 30, so it's going to be 1 second long. So play. There we go. You can see it's a little less jumpy now. There's more frames. That's quite nice. But what I also might want to do is make a little bit more, a bit of a kind of more complicated movie, and I'm going to set my start frame as this frame here, and I'm going to zoom in to here and maybe rotate a little and finish up. I'm going to zoom in even a bit further. We're going to finish up here. So I set that as my end frame and play the movie. There we go. We can see it's made a nice pan zoom movie there, and then I can save this movie by going into save movie. It'll play through it before it saves, a little bit slower than normal, so you just have to bear with it, and when it's finished I'll be able to save it as an AVI movie, and then it can be played in Windows Media Player or iTunes or whatever you'd like to. I'm going to save it right now. Okay, well, what else can we do? Well, we can just save a snapshot of the current view, so 2D image. We can copy the current view, simply copy and paste into publication. A synchronizing tool, which is quite nice. So if I just move that a second, if I open up the same data set again and view that in the 5D viewer, I'm going to compare the ISO surface to the volume rendering. So I synchronize them both. Let's get rid of that for a second, and then there we go. Zoom in a bit and we can compare them. Also I can play them in the movie like that. Okay, well, there's a lot more that I could show you, but I think that's a good introduction. If you have any more questions, please contact your local sales office or dealer. Thank you.